What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Spencer, with Kevin.
Weird. Weird.
We're having another Yu-Gi-Oh talk. I'm gonna talk about three little things. Um,
And there will be Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if that wasn't made clear enough.
I got the title of the video. Um, First thing I want to talk about. So, we haven't had any paper tournaments. So, basically, the
For the
meta's
layman, that means in person.
yes. You got it. So people,
Hit the
like
nail on the head.
a lot of people thought the market was gonna crash, like completely, but it's made it like 10 times worse. You will see the price of
Jesus
the
Christ. So
so
yeah, it's invoked the two in the top invoke decks.
yeah, it's Eldritch.
Eldlich,
Basically,
yeah.
Eldritch.
They're all both scratching $1,000 at least, at the very least.
Yeah, so Eldritch is the top like 25%, I think, representation, and then it's Adamancipators. 3 copies of Eldlich is $320 right now.
Jeez, man.
So that alone. So that brings me to my question to you. Do you see it as a problem when the top decks get that expensive, or should Konami not care about the aftermarket at all?
Well, it's very clear that they don't, right? Like we've established that in previous iterations of these talks.
Well, I mean they kind of do because when they reprint stuff, it's because of how expensive it is, basically.
They don't. Sometimes, like I feel like they do have some. They don't craft products with the like craft new products with the secondary market in mind, right? Like they can't
Yeah.
they can't control like they can control it in a sense of like what cards like dominate the meta. They essentially create the meta. Um, but like when a card like kind of just spikes in value out of nowhere, like I'm not sure Konami really has that much control over something like that. And it's not like you can just kind of like these things kind of take time developing products and stuff like that and getting them shipped out to stores, and that's all like mucked up because of COVID and stuff like that too. So we don't even know what kind of effects that's like having on it right now, but I think I think it's a lot more nuanced and complicated than people uh would like to give Konami credit for, because it's not like people would think you can just magically whip up reprints of a card so they can drive the aftermarket price down. I don't think it like 100% works like that, honestly.
Okay. With that being said, like, do you see that this is a problem? Like to me, I'd say when you only have two viable decks, basically. Well, other than this,
Yeah, it is a problem. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. How much should Konami care about this? Like, should it be a problem to them, or is it more of a personal problem for us?
I mean, the cost of the decks, I feel like, is of lesser concern to them. The fact that it is like you definitely just don't want to be in a territory where legit you can only play a single deck if you want to win. Like you should never that shouldn't really ever be um a situation that you have to deal with, you know?
So do they on the next ban list that's coming out soon? Do they change anything?
I don't know, it's a super toxic relationship because people pay legitimately thousands of dollars for these top meta decks, and then Konami bans them, and that kind of just fuels a cycle of hatred because then another deck becomes incredibly expensive and people spend money on that, and those cards get banned. So I don't know, like like it's we're just stuck in this very weird, like it's just maybe they should. I think if they were more involved in kind of just like controlling the aftermarket or just making sure, like I don't know, something has to change, like, and I feel like it has to be done on Konami's part. Like what more can we do as players to fix this problem, you know?
I wouldn't mind the top decks being so expensive if the gap between them wasn't so far from tier
Sure.
two. I think that's the key to everything. If I have a like like the fifth best deck of the format, but I have an off chance of winning, I think that's fine. And I think that's pretty balanced. And you kind of expect that for any top tier game. Like, you pay the most money, basically, you have the highest chance of winning because you're using the best cards. And that's the same with Magic, too. But
Yeah.
the thing is like, the combo Eldlich and the Adamancipators are so significantly better. Any given tournament, those are the top. Either the finals or it's a mirror match. And I'm not a fan of that when both of those decks cost $1,200.
Yeah. It's just I don't know because I definitely feel like Konami has a sense of responsibility for making the game accessible. And when the meta is so hard capped like it has been for the last like couple years, I'd say, right? Like you get your one off kind of just like you know, praying kids would
yeah,
win a
you see,
YCS or
but that's the
something like
thing.
that.
Like, I'm okay with the format like that because it means they have a chance.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like I wish that would be more acceptable. Obviously, you don't want to design your meta to be like completely like railroaded by a random like rogue deck,
Right.
but like it shouldn't be so rigid to whereas like there was a point where if you weren't playing Sky Strikers, you weren't winning. And it's been like that. It's been like that, and you just swap out the archetype for like a while. So I just something's got to be done on the end of just like making it less rigid and making just I don't know because it's hard. It's super hard because Yu-Gi-Oh players are incredibly creative, and they'll Frankenstein something in, and it'll just be like an unstoppable like deck for months on end, and they'll have no idea how to like deal with it.
I would like to tell you that this is like, it's gonna get better in the future, but Konami just released the Numeron archetype, and it's like, it's worse than anything we've seen. Basically, you're able to bring out Utopic Zexal without your fifth summon, so it avoids Nibiru.
Cool.
How is that okay with anybody?
What was the why was 5 special summons the like that was the target for Nibiru?
Because it
I wonder what they had to have play tested that because
yeah.
I Konami does have an R&D department and like they have like they don't release these things out without kind of testing them first. So I wonder what made them think 5.
I
Like,
want
was 4 just like just absolutely like handicapping like
it's
every
more
strategy in
common
the
for
game?
sure. Yeah,
I don't know.
it's a card that I think is balanced enough because you can work around it. If you think your opponent has it, or if you know he has it, you can kind of dictate your turn without.
Yeah.
It's more of a hamper more than like a deterrent. Um, you can play around it. It just makes the game a little harder, but that's part of the skill
Yeah.
of the game.